Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman, and thank you to all of our candidates and your families for your willingness to continue to serve the United States. We are really lucky to have people like you and your families who are willing to step up and serve our nation. So thank you for what you're doing. Congresswoman Steele, you talked about your experience in fleeing North Korea. One of my friends who's since passed away was a Marine corporal during the Korean War. And he would be so proud of looking at, those satellite maps that show the Korean Peninsula at night, where you can see above the 38th parallel, it's all black, and below it you see the lights of Seoul and all the other Korean cities that are vibrant. And it always made him feel good that he had been a part of that conflict to help preserve the freedom for at least half the peninsula, and looking, I think, to the chairman's point about how much South Korea has done versus what's happened in the north. So I think it is, as you mentioned, it's the linchpin of our Indo-Pacific alliance and security is that relationship with the Republic of Korea, because it exemplifies exactly what we as free nations can do to oppose tyranny. And that's why this is very, very important. Under President Trump, that partnership has evolved to prioritize economic and supply chains, and I think you mentioned that as well. Certainly last year's Korea Strategic Trade and Investment Deal was a historic leap forward. And in that deal, Seoul pledged to eliminate the non-tariff barriers and end discrimination against U.S. firms. However, USTR's March 2026 National Trade Estimate tells a little bit of a different story there. It highlights a broad range of Korean barriers that continue to stifle American agricultural and digital services. Of particular concern is South Korea's recent decision to end voluntary additions to the soybean quota, import quota. The U.S. provides about 80% of Korea's soybean imports. This policy hurts farmers in my home state of Nebraska. We cannot celebrate new deals while old barriers remain or new ones are being created. American farmers and companies deserve the full benefits of agreements that we sign. So if confirmed, will you commit to ensuring the full implementation of the Korean Strategic Trade and Investment Deal?
Thank you, Senator, for that question. And first of all, that I want to say thank you to all those Korean veterans that they've been serving in South Korea during the Korean War, because if they were not there, I was never born, because my father and my mother came from different region of North Korea to South. That's the way they met in South Korea, and I'm here, and I'm so grateful for that. For the trade issue, actually, there's a joint fact sheet. There's a $350 billion is coming in, mostly investment in United States, and we have three most important things right there between South Korea and United States is we advancing that U.S. ROK, that alliance military capabilities important. Second thing is trade. Trade issue for the beans and other egg cultures, that if confirmed, that I'm gonna sit down with the Korean government and whoever that is control of these trade issues, because that joint fact sheet is now really clear about that $350 billion plus $150 shipbuilding. So I want to see that exactly where that's coming from. On the free trade agreement between South Korea and United States right now, that it's surplus in South Korea over $50 billion. I always think that free trade is always win-win, and we can renegotiate. So love to see that egg side, that how we're gonna actually export more to South Korea, if I get confirmed.
Wonderful, Congresswoman Steele. Also, AI has the potential to revolutionize many industries and dictate the global balance of power. Semiconductor supply chains are critical to winning this race, and we cannot cede this dominance to our adversaries. Our current export controls have seen some success, but there are still loopholes that are dangerous that remain. While American firms follow the law, some foreign companies, including Korean ones, are backfilling communist China with dual-use tools. We need to permanently close these loopholes. It's one of the reasons why I introduced the Match Act with Senators Kim, Risch, and Schumer to be able to help do this. We've added Senators Crapo, Shaheen, Cotton, Coons, Warren, and Banks. I want to welcome other co-sponsors. The bill levels the playing field for American companies, and U.S. technology must not power the coercion of our Korean allies in the West Sea or other partners in the Indo-Pacific. If you're confirmed, will you commit to ensuring that the ROK prioritize collaboration on these emerging technologies to prevent them from getting into Communist China's hands?
Thank you, Senator, and thank you for introducing Match Act. And yes, I love to do that.
Great. Thank you very much.
If I get confirmed.
We'll work on that. Thank you.